Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1137, and today's date is November 27th, 2016, and the title of the episode is The Current Economic Collapse News Brief. Let's get into the economic collapse news. Now, here we are at the biggest shopping time of the year. We have Black Friday, and we have Cyber Monday coming up. And we can see that there was a survey that was conducted by Reuters. And they're saying that nearly two-thirds, or 63% of U.S. adults, they did not plan to shop on Black Friday. So what actually happened on Black Friday? Is it as good as everyone is saying? We know the corporate media was out there showing a lot of pictures of people at the stores. But we can see right now that people aren't really going out and they're not going shopping. Now, Reuters is reporting that they've done this spot checking at all different areas across the country. And they're saying that store traffic remains subdued across the country. Initial reports show it's steady and not very busy at stores around the country, said Craig Johnson, president of retail consultancy Customer Growth Partners. And they went across the country, they looked around, and they were not seeing the traffic. And we can see right now that people, they just don't have the funds to go out and purchase. Yes, many people are purchasing online instead of going to the stores, but the sales online are not reflecting at this point that everyone is shifting away from brick and mortar. It shows that people aren't really shopping. Because we have online sales, we have brick and mortar sales. We're not seeing the flip over to complete online sales. Actually, we're seeing that since the beginning of November, sales have been down by 8% right now. This is coming from the NPD Group. And they're saying that last year, sales were higher than they are today. Now they're out there telling us that it could be some parts of the country got rain. I mean, they're always using the weather excuse. But we can see that a lot of people are being laid off. A lot of people are not getting raises. A lot of people can't find jobs. Obamacare, the premiums are skyrocketing. And what we're seeing right now is that people are just not going out and they're not spending. They're very nervous. We see George Soros is out there. He's saying that he's deeply troubled by all the hate crimes that have been committed against minorities in the name of Donald Trump. Now, of course, most of these are hoaxes. And what he's really doing is he's putting pressure on Donald Trump. He's getting people all riled up. And we can see that right now he's donating $10 million to civil rights organizations across the country in an effort to combat alleged pro-Trump hate crimes. They're trying to create something out of thin air. And, of course, what he does is he tries to push his agenda, by funding these organizations, saying this is a major problem. But we can see what's happening right now. They don't like it that Donald Trump won because they paid a lot of money to have Hillary win the election. They had the corporate media on board. They had the U.S. government on board. They had illegals come into the country to vote without any type of checks. And we can see right now from all of this, we can see that they're a little upset of what happened. Now what they're trying to do is they're trying to have states flip. They have Jill Stein out there raising funds, which most of it came from George Soros. And they're trying to convince everyone that this is just grassroots. People are just donating. But we can see right now that most of the funds came from large backers because the amount of funds that were brought in was a lot in a short period of time. But we can see there are many different ways they can try to stop what is about to happen, and that is for Donald Trump to be inaugurated. What they're trying to do, of course, number one, is they're trying to steal the electoral votes. Two, they're trying to plunge America into chaos and maybe declare martial law. We know they might try to crash the markets, destroy the entire economy, which we know they have planned. They've planned this for quite a while. We know that they're trying to provoke Russia. They're trying to create a false flag event Maybe some type of cyber attack. Maybe they'll try to assassinate Trump and then threaten Pence until he complies. We can see right now that they're doing whatever they possibly can to stop what is about to happen, and that is Trump becoming president. Now, am I saying he's an insider? Am I saying he's an outsider? No. But we can see exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to stop this. And they'll do whatever they want because remember, they're globalists, the elite. They want everything that they've been working for. They want the control of the people. They want control of the currency. They want control of the flow of information. And they want war. And they will not stop until they get this. Out in South Sudan, we can see something very interesting just happened because the South Sudan government said, you know something, we do not want UN troops, UN peacekeeping troops inside of our country. And the UN Security Council voted in August to send about, 4,000 troops or so into the country. And now they're saying, and this is coming from President Salva Kiir, is saying that, you know something, no problem, we will allow the troops into the country. And at this point, we can see right now there is no conditions and something completely changed where he is saying, okay, we don't mind the troops in. What has changed? We don't know at this point. We see out in Ukraine. Ukraine is trying to provoke Russia before Donald Trump gets into office. They've made a unilateral decision to conduct missile launches near Crimea, close to routes used by civilian and government aircraft. Now, Russia is going to be banning flights over Crimea right now, unless Ukraine cancels its decision to hold missile firing drills over the Black Sea Peninsula. We see China was flying their warplanes near Japan, and we see Japan scrambled their jets. They were very nervous about what was going on, and they shadowed the Chinese planes. Now, of course, this was just a normal operation. There were 2 Su-30 fighters, 2 H-6 bombers, and they were flying over this area. And we can see that the United States does this. We see Russia does this. We see Japan does this. But of course, what the corporate media is trying to do is they're trying to make something much larger than it really is. We see Iraq's popular mobilization units. They were attacked by an unknown aircraft near Mosul. And we can see right now that there were missiles that were fired in this area near the command tent. And Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi was in the tent at the time. Now, was this the U.S. trying to get rid of him at this point? Because you really have to think about this. How many fighter jets are flying in this area? We have the Iraqis. We have the United States. And do you really think another jet from some other place just happened to enter the airspace? And it just so happened to know exactly where the tent was to bomb? So it was something connected to the West. Maybe they were trying to assassinate him. We don't know at this point, but we can see that it is very, very interesting. We can see out in Syria, the rebels are in massive retreat in eastern Aleppo. We see the Syria Air Force bombed a meeting of commanders that belonged to al-Sham in the northern province of Homs. And there's a radical Saudi cleric out there, and he calls on Turkey to attack the Syrian army. And what's happening right now is the United States government central bankers, the shadow government, they are going to push their agenda. We can see what's happening out in Ukraine. We can see right now they're trying to get rid of the prime minister in Iraq, and they're trying to create some type of war. We know that Turkey right now is using this false flag to convince the world that the Syrian government is attacking the Turkish troops. And then we have this Saudi cleric out there calling on Turkey to attack. And we can see right now the central bankers, the shadow government, they are becoming desperate. They have George Soros on one end trying to flip this election, get rid of Donald Trump. They're trying to push war before Trump is completely into office. And this is all happening at the same exact time. Now, going forward, we can see that they're going to try to push this agenda. And we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more provocations against Russia, against what's happening in the Middle East. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they become so desperate that they use some type of tactical nuke, that they try to create an event here in the United States. Because we can see right now, they will do anything at this point to get this war started, to postpone what is about to happen. And they're doing everything they possibly can to do this. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.